My name is Emily Carter, and this is how my life fell apart. Not once, but in a way that keeps echoing. I'd been married to Nate for 5 years, together for 8, and I thought we were solid. We'd talked about kids in that vague, dreamy way couples do. Someday, maybe, no rush. I was on the pill, juggling deadlines as a graphic designer, when work stress hit hard about 4 months back. I missed a few days of my meds, didn't think twice about it. Then my period didn't show. I brushed it off. My cycle's always been a little wild under pressure. But when the nausea kicked in and my chest felt sore, I grabbed a pregnancy test on a whim during lunch. 2 pink lines stared back at me, bold as daylight. I took 2 more that week, all positive. Shock hit first, then fear, but under it, a flicker of excitement. I've always wanted to be a mom, and even if the timing sucked, I figured Nate would roll with it once the dust settled. I waited a week to tell him, plotting the perfect moment. Not some over-the-top reveal with balloons, that's not us. I went simple. His favorite chili simmering on the stove, cornbread in the oven, a bottle of his go-to IPA for him, and lemonade for me. I even wore that green dress he always said brought out my eyes. Cooking, I rehearsed it a dozen times. Keep it light, maybe a grin. Nate, we're in for a big change. I wanted it to feel right, even if it wasn't planned. He got home late, around 7:30, tie loose, and eyes glued to his phone. Normal lately, with his office pushing some new system rollout. He barely clocked the spread, just muttered, "Smells good," and poured half the IPA into a glass before I could hint at anything special. Dinner was off from the start. Nate was quiet, barely grunting replies when I asked about his day, the rollout, anything to spark a real talk. I tried joking about my latest client's insane logo demands, but he just shrugged, scrolling his phone. Something felt wrong. Work stress, I told myself, shoving the unease down. After we ate, I cleared the plates, took a deep breath, and grabbed his hand across the table. "Nate, I've got news," I said, voice steady. "I'm pregnant." Silence stretched, thick and heavy, like the air before a storm. His face went blank, then pale, then twisted into something I didn't recognize. Panic, edged with anger. "You serious?" he finally croaked. I nodded, forcing a smile. "Yeah, 3 tests. 4, actually." That's when it unraveled. "You ruined everything," he snapped, yanking his hand back. "I didn't want this kid." My stomach dropped. I stammered about the pill, how I'd missed it with work chaos, how we could figure it out together. We'd tackled worse. Then he hit me with it. "I never wanted kids, Emily. I just said it to keep you happy. Some far off, maybe. I can't do this." My head spun. "Is there someone else?" I asked, voice cracking. His hesitation said it all, before he muttered, "Yeah, Lily, from work. A few months now." Lily, the sharp new hire he'd bragged about. 26 to my 33. He started packing right then. Not a duffel, but a full suitcase, clothes spilling out. "Where are you going?" I choked out. "Lily's." "For now," he said, not meeting my eyes. 30 minutes after I told him about our baby, he was at the door, suitcase in hand. "I can't be a dad. I'm not ready," he said, then softer. "Sorry, I'll call." And he was gone. I stood in our too-quiet condo, chilly cold on the counter, staring at the green dress crumpled around me, wondering how the man I loved could just walk out on us. Nate walked out that night, leaving the condo echoing with his "sorry" and the faint smell of chili I'd never touch again. I sat there, stunned, hands drifting to my stomach, like I could shield the little life inside from what just happened. My husband, 5 years married, 8 together, chose Lily over us in under an hour. I called Anna, my best friend since college, bawling so hard she could barely make out the words. She was there in 20 minutes, wrapping me in a hug as I choked out, "I thought I knew him." "He's an idiot," she said, fierce and sure, holding me till I could breathe again. That night, crashed on my couch with Anna snoring nearby. I woke to nausea. Not just morning sickness, but the gut punch of reality. Nate was gone, and I was pregnant. The next day, I tried calling him, Straight to voicemail. My texts. We need to talk. Don't shut me out. Sat unanswered. By noon, anger started edging out the shock. I booked my first prenatal appointment, hands shaking as I dialed, deciding then and there, with or without him, this baby was mine. That evening, Nate's mom, Diane, called. Her voice was clipped, like she was reading a script. Nate told us everything. He's with Lily now. He needs time. He's not ready for a family. I gripped the phone, jaw tight. He's 32, Diane. I'm not exactly ready to do this alone, either. She sighed, dismissive. He's got his career to think about. Maybe you should consider options. The hint hung there. Terminate, like it was a business decision. I'm keeping this baby, I said, firm. Your grandchild. She went quiet, then hung up. I shook, rage boiling. Nate got that from them. Coddled, excused, never held to account. Days blurred into weeks. Nate texted once, 3 days later, not to check on me, but to say he was staying at Lily's and would cover rent till next month. I need space, he wrote. I'll talk later. He came by while I was at work, grabbed more stuff, left his keys and a note. Rent's paid. Lawyer soon. Divorce, just like that. I stared at it, the condo feeling like a shell of what it was. Anna pushed me to move. Too many ghosts here. I found a smaller place, a 1-bedroom near her, packing up 8 years in boxes and tears. My first ultrasound came a month later, alone. That whooshing heartbeat, fast, alive, broke me. The tech handed me a grainy printout, a tiny blob I taped to my new fridge. You're real, I whispered, and that was that. No turning back. Nate's dad, Greg, called when I was 6 months along, belly swelling under my sweaters. How you holding up? He asked, softer than Diane. I was honest. Not great. Your son ditched me for a coworker. He fumbled. Diane didn't mean it like that, about options. We're just worried about Nate's job, his future with Lily. I cut in. This wasn't planned, but I'm not the one running. He offered cash, a weak olive branch, but added, Nate's not in a father place right now. Lily's good for him. I hung up, clarity hitting hard. I was alone in this. Nate picked her. His parents picked him. Just me and this kid now. Sophie was born on a rainy Monday, 16 hours of labor with Anna by my side, feeding me ice chips and swearing I could do it. She came out screaming, a wrinkled 7-pound miracle, with Nate's dimples and my stubborn chin. I held her, tears mixing with sweat, and knew I'd fight the world for her. The divorce finalized a month later. Nate didn't fight it, just signed and sent spotty child support. I didn't chase him. Sophie's heartbeat on that fridge photo was my anchor, and with Anna's help, I started building a life from the wreckage he'd left behind. Sophie's first cry marked the start of a life I never planned, but one I'd never trade. Those early days in the 1-bedroom were a haze, sleepless nights, diapers stacked like skyscrapers, and a love so fierce it scared me. I went back to work when she was 12 weeks, freelancing as a graphic designer from home half the time, my laptop balanced on a sea of baby toys. My boss, Tara, was a saint. Flexible hours, no guilt trips. But daycare costs hit like a freight train, eating half my paycheck. Nate's child support trickled in. Late, always with excuses. Car trouble, tight month. Once a trip to Mexico with Lily, I saw on Instagram before he texted back. I stopped checking his posts after that. Blocked him, Lily too. Anna was right. It was better for my head. Raising Sophie alone was brutal, but beautiful. I learned her cues. Hungry wails versus sleepy whines. Sang off-key lullabies she somehow loved. Watched her grow from a squishy blob to a toddler with my hazel eyes and a grin that could melt steel. Work kept me afloat. I clawed my way up, landing bigger clients, saving every spare dime. By Sophie's 4th birthday, I'd scraped enough for a down payment on a condo, 2 bedrooms, a sliver of a patio, in a decent school zone. We moved in on a sweaty June day, Sophie helping by scattering crayons everywhere. Our castle, Mommy, she cheered, and I laughed, taping her ultrasound pic to the new fridge. Nate's checks dried up around then. Job hops, evasion. I filed for enforcement. but chasing him wasn't worth the stress. We'd manage. Then Jack walked in, or rather, rolled in, on a skateboard with his son Max trailing behind. I met them at the park a year ago, Sophie 5 and tumbling off the slide, Max 6, offering her his water bottle with a shy, "You okay?" Jack's a widower, dark hair graying at the edges, with a quiet laugh and a knack for fixing things, literal and not. His wife died when Max was 2, cancer, and he'd raised him solo ever since. We started with playdates. Sophie and Max were instant buddies, then coffee while they chased squirrels, then chats that stretched past playground hours. He'd ask about Sophie's latest obsession, dinosaurs, then ballet, bring her books from Max's old stash. One night, after a picnic where he patched Sophie's scraped knee without blinking, I caught myself staring. He was steady, kind. Everything Nate never was. 6 years spun by faster than I could track. Sophie turned 6 last month, all sass and pirouettes, starting kindergarten with a backpack bigger than her. I'd been at the same design firm for 7 years now, snagging a senior designer spot last spring, a raise that meant no more ramen dinners. Jack and I were dating, officially, for 8 months. It wasn't fireworks, more like a slow burn, the kind you trust. He'd cook tacos with Max and Sophie giggling over salsa spills, fix my leaky sink without me asking, talk about his wife with a rawness that made me open up about Nate. "You're a hell of a mom," he said once, after Sophie roped him into a tea party with her stuffed T-Rex. I blushed, but it stuck. Maybe I was doing okay. Nate's parents, Diane and Greg, flickered in and out. They'd ignored Sophie till she was born, then sent sporadic gifts. A teddy bear, a card with no note. After Nate ghosted child support, Diane texted, "Can we see our granddaughter?" I let them visit once, at 3 months. Awkward, stiff, Diane cooing over Nate's dimples in Sophie's cheeks, Greg snapping pics. They asked to take her overnight. I shut it down. "Not after you backed him walking out," I said, voice hard. Diane bristled. "You're punishing us." But they left, and contact faded to birthday texts. I didn't push it. Sophie didn't need people who'd ditch her like Nate did. Life felt stable, finally. Me, Sophie, Jack, Max, Anna, still my rock with takeout and pep talks. I'd watch Sophie twirl in her ballet slippers, Jack cheering her on, and think maybe we'd outrun the chaos. But stability's a tricky thing. It holds till something cracks it, and Nate had a knack for showing up just when I thought the past was buried. 6 years of building a life with Sophie. 6 years of late nights, ballet recitals, and Jack's quiet steadiness felt solid, like a house I'd finally made my own. Then Nate showed up, cracking the foundation I'd poured everything into. It was Sophie's first big dance recital, a Saturday afternoon in a stuffy auditorium, her pink tutu bouncing as she twirled with the other kindergartners. Jack sat beside me, Max on his lap, all of us clapping like fools when she nailed her pirouette. I was snapping pics, grinning, when I felt it. A prickle on my neck. I glanced back, and there he was. Nate, leaning against the back wall, eyes locked on Sophie. My stomach lurched. He looked rougher, hair thinning, jacket rumpled, like the years hadn't been kind. After the show, Sophie ran to us, beaming, "Did you see me, Mommy? Jack?" I hugged her tight, forcing a smile, but my eyes flicked to Nate, weaving through the crowd. Jack caught my shift, frowning. "You okay?" Before I could answer, Nate was there, hands shoved in his pockets. "Hey, Emily," he said, voice low. "She's gotten big." Sophie tilted her head. "Who's that?" I swallowed hard. "Someone I used to know, sweetie. Go with Jack for ice cream. I'll catch up." Jack's jaw tightened, but he nodded, taking Sophie and Max out. "What are you doing here?" I hissed once they were gone. Nate shuffled, eyes darting. "Mom mentioned the recital. I had to see her. Lily's gone. Dumped me 6 months back. Job's toast, too. I've been crashing with friends." He paused, then. "I've changed, Em. I want to know her, know you again." My head spun. 6 years, no calls, no cards, not even a glance at the photo album I'd shared. And now this? "You don't get to just show up," I snapped. "She's not a baby you can waltz back to." He stepped closer, voice dropping. I still love you, Emily. I never stopped. We could be a family. Sophie deserves that. The words hit like a punch. Love, family, after he'd torched ours for Lily? I stared, anger warring with disbelief. You left us. I've built a life. Sophie's got Jack, me, people who show up. His face twisted, pain or guilt, I couldn't tell. I know I screwed up. I'm sober now, therapy. Give me a chance. I shook my head, backing off. I need to think. Don't follow us. Jack was waiting at the ice cream shop, Sophie giggling over sprinkles, but his eyes were sharp when I walked in. Nate? He asked, low. I nodded, sinking into the booth. Wants back in. Says he loves me. Wants Sophie. Jack's hand tensed on his spoon. What'd you say? That he can't just barge in, but he's her dad, biologically. I don't know what's right for her. Jack's voice softened. You're what's right for her. Me too. He's a ghost who bailed. Don't let him haunt you. I squeezed his hand, torn. Sophie deserved to know her father, but at what cost? That night, Nate texted. Meant it. I want us back. Think about Soph. I stared at it. Jack asleep beside me, Sophie's recital shoes by the door. He'd abandoned us when I was pregnant, ran to Lily, ignored his kid for years. Now he was broke and alone, and I was supposed to fix it? My chest burned, but Sophie's dimpled grin flashed in my mind. I couldn't erase him, not fully. He was her blood. But love? That bridge was ash, and I wasn't crossing it again. Nate's text glowed on my phone that night. I want us back. And I couldn't sleep. The words clawing at me. Jack's steady breathing beside me. Sophie's soft snores down the hall. They were my world now, not some ghost from 6 years ago. But Nate wasn't just a ghost. He was Sophie's father, biologically, and that tangled mess kept me up, staring at the ceiling. By morning, coffee in hand, I knew I had to decide. Not for him, but for her. I texted back. Meet me tomorrow, park, 10 a.m. We talk. That's it. His reply was instant. Thank you, Em. The park was crisp and quiet. Sophie at school, Jack at work. Nate showed up, still rumpled but with a nervous energy, clutching a coffee like a lifeline. I've been thinking, he started, about what I said. I mean it. I want to fix this. I cut in, voice steady. This isn't about us, Nate. That's dead. You killed it when you walked out. It's about Sophie. She's 6, not a baby you can pick up when you're bored. He flinched, but nodded. I know I don't deserve it, but I want to be in her life. Supervised, whatever you say. Just a chance. I studied him. Sober, he said. Therapy. No Lily. No job. And saw a man scrambling. Not a father ready. Okay, I said finally. Short visits. I'm there. No promises. You vanish again. It's over. For good. Relief washed over him, but I wasn't done. And me? Jack's my life now. You don't get to waltz in and play house. Pain flickered in his eyes, but he murmured, I get it. Just her. We set a date, a week out, 20 minutes at the playground. I'd tell Sophie slow, careful, let her feel it out. Breaking it to her was harder than I'd prepped for. Over mac and cheese that night, I said, Soph, there's a guy you're gonna meet, your biological dad. He's been gone, but he wants to say hi. Her fork stopped, hazel eyes wide. Why now? Does Jack know? My throat tightened. Jack's fine with it, sweetie. This guy, he wasn't ready before, but you're amazing, and he's curious. I'll be with you. She nodded, small, then, Jack's my real dad, right? I hugged her. Jack's your dad in every way that counts. The first meeting wasn't a disaster. Nate brought a little ballet sticker book, Sophie's latest craze, and they sat on a bench, peeling and sticking while I watched, heart pounding. She was shy, but warmed up, showing him her twirl. He smiled, dimples matching hers, and I felt a pang. Not love, just memory. Over 2 weeks, we did it thrice. Brief, supervised, me, always there. Then Diane and Greg crashed in. They showed up at the condo unannounced, all smiles and a toy pony, talking family moving forward. Nate hovered, sheepish. We just want Sophie in our lives, Diane pressed. A weekend, maybe, I snapped. No, you don't get her after 6 years of nothing, and backing him ditching us. Greg fumbled. We're trying now, but I held firm. Visits with me here, or nothing. Nate pulled me aside after they left. I still love you. Sophie deserves us together, her real parents. I laughed, sharp and cold. You don't love me, you're lonely. Jack's her dad, not you. Step up for her, fine, but us. That's Ash. He stared, deflated, then nodded. Okay, just her. I called him next day, set the rule. Biological dad, supervised, no more us talk. He agreed, voice small. Now I'm 34. Condo hours, Sophie twirling into first grade. Jack's building her a bookshelf, Max helping, their laughter filling the place. Diane texts sometimes, guilt gifts, but I keep them at arm's length. Nate's a shadow, not a storm. I control that. Sophie asks about him less, calls Jack dad without blinking. 6 years ago, I was shattered, pregnant, alone. Today, I've got a career, a home, a daughter who lights my world, and a man who stays. Nate's choices led him where they did. I'm not bitter, just done. This family? It's mine, and it's enough.